What's poppin' YouTube? I'm Pronago, and I'm here to tell you guys about Cosmonarchy. Isn't that really cool? Cosmonarchy's pretty cool. You know what else is cool? It's time for a 2 versus 2 match. I really like the idea of having a 2v2 tournament, and so far what's been kind of a problem for the 2v2s, the team games, has been our game's stability across networks. We do have some desyncs we're still cleaning up, but we've made a lot of progress on that front, and that's allowed team games to become a little bit more commonplace. Our last cast over was on Tourney Day, and of course we had a couple of homies playing a 2 versus AI game, which also does tend to desync a bit more often. AI is doing a lot more stuff than the human player is in some cases. So it's kind of neat to see that we all have some 2v2s to cast a bit more frequently. There's this replay, and then there's one other that had the same players in it, but I believe they change the teams every now and then. And then, yeah, I'm pretty sure other 2v2s and such have been had. FFAs are happening a bit more often as well. So you can expect to see more than just stock standard 1v1s on the channel. But leave a comment telling me what you guys think would be the most exciting sort of opportunity there for cool play. Because I think it's really cool to have epic, team games and stuff. That's what Cosmonarchy was all about back in the day. But, at least what it was intended to be about from its initial design conceptions. And it's 1v1 mostly because that's easy to organize. It only takes 2 players, sometimes a caster. So that's me today. Our players are the Shambler in the top left. He is our white Terran. In the bottom left, we have the Pumpkin Zerg of Kenoli. And we have TheNightFox down here. Not going for a 6 pool, as Shambler suggests. He is the maroon Zerg who went for a 7 pool, which is a weird one. And then in the top right, we do have Noiturne as the black Zerg. So as far as, who's the stronger of the players, we have probably Shambler and TheNightFox will be the lobby leaders in that respect. Although TheNightFox hasn't been gaming too frequently lately. When he is, he's usually playing other stuff. So Kenoli might be the second strongest player, in which case you would argue these are kind of imba teams. But TheNightFox is going to go ahead and pop this Larvosk immediately and pop away from that after scouting the Hydrith Den. Guerrilla Rokors were made, the Broodling equivalent here. You only need to, you turn larvae into them. They don't actually have a tech requirement or anything. They're pretty fun. And they're also free, but they do cost your larvae, so are they really free? Looks like Noiturne playing a little bit more defensively, has 8 quas and 4 more inside his main base, went for a pool double Larvosk build. He's definitely going to be the weakest player in the lobby in terms of, recent experience, but maybe not in terms of APM. He's actually outstripping Kenoli, and I guess right now Shambler as well, but I wouldn't predict that to remain the same. Shambler going for a gasless build so far. He's gone for double stockade into Ministry. Kenoli saying go, go, go. He's got 4 Iziricors on the way. So the stim comes out from the Mavs. Is going to help clean up Fox's quas. And it looks like Noiturne a little bit slow on the adoption. Is he going to choose to defend his ally, or is he going to try to backstab the Terran player? Right now, he's not really doing either. A burrow on the Iziricor for Kenoli. And it looks like this one Maverick will be minced from behind. Yeah, really not a whole lot of support from the Terran right now because those Mavericks are pretty low. And Noiturne should be able to clean house there with the TheNightFox having plenty of quas. However, he does have the lowest worker count in the whole lobby, so that is a bit of a problem. Stim comes out with the Iziricors being a nice little front line there. That actually was pretty nifty as far as an early engagement goes, but obviously you have to give it to the players who had all these quas, 21 between the two of them. That's a lot of mans, says Kenoli. I appreciate that they are typing, because I would, we don't have like saving the voice comms to a replay file or anything. That would be pretty next level if we could somehow do that. Maybe once we achieve the OGG file support, Mimica can figure out a way to, embed voice chat from Discord. No, I don't know. I'm not even really sure how you would do that, but Counter-Strike, for example, has that in some places. So anyway, not going to happen, but we do have a quas attack here. This number of Mavs is going to be a lot better at mulching unorganized quas push, and you can tell, obviously, the black quas versus the maroon quas. It's a bit of a different story here. They're all kind of like opting in between each other, and it does look like they're going to get completely sandwiched. The Mavericks coming in to support the Iziricors, and, well, defender's advantage in the ground, says the Shambler. I don't know if he was saying that as like all chat or what. TheNightFox might have been trying to type there, but instead he ends up hemorrhaging his quas and has to fall back. The Iziricor's moving over to Noiturne's neck of the woods. Expansion for him and for Shambler so far, with Shambler's already being complete. TheNightFox has gone for many rounds of workers here and is sending his quas forward, knowing that Noiturne seems to be the one likely to get attacked here. lot more quads where that came from, so it doesn't really look like these IZs are going to have too much of a good time. I like the split from the TheNightFox. Good micro there. Try to reduce the damage, because the I0 core has multi-attack, so if it's within range, it can shoot 3 projectiles, and each one of them bounces, so obviously you can hit up to 6 targets, in theory. Shambler going for a Shaman. Meanwhile, a Ski-Backed on the way for Kenoli, upgrading his Den. That'll let him make Skither cores, but also if you start to see Hydras pop up, fix my IZ, he says. Okay. I have meds coming. Well, I guess that's what he meant, but I don't know. Was there supposed to be a Mason with this army? Who knows? Yeah, Cleric's on the way now, running down the ramp. Shout out to, was it actually? Yeah, it was Solstice who helped with corrections, but it was Delta Catamus who ended up making the Cleric model to begin with. So that's pretty cool. Shout out to him one time. He's actually made a ton of the models, so I'll try to shout him out where possible. Noiturne says, making his own Hydras into the Ski-Backed, as well as that Vornath upgrading the pool. So, yeah, if you start to see Hydras on the side of Kenoli, expect that there's going to be a lot of Bactals. But I actually have a feeling, looking at this, that we're going to be seeing a different story here. We're going to be seeing a rush to the Tethzora core. That's what all the I0 cores are making me think of. You evolve them when you hit the apex tier of the Ski-Backed Scab. All in one base so far for Kenoli. This map is Toony Moony, a map by Veek7, if you can believe it. Way back when. Not really a whole lot of like easy to sneak bases on this map. It's very much like you play on this map because it gives you some straightforward battle paths, right? You don't really do a lot of pathing around different places or circumnavigating. You're doing a lot of hanging out, you know? There's 8 mineral patches in the main, so that's a difference from the 1v1 map default. And Atlas coming for the Shambler. And he is just going to go ahead and keep slamming out Mavericks. He's got a pretty impressive bio army with the Shamans also on the way to the front line. Bactals have been made for Noiturne. I know, I was saying he was going to be the weakest player in the lobby, but so far, I'm actually liking what I'm seeing from him. No questions asked, no problem. Avaleth spying for Kenoli. He's got a couple of nice positions, but only this one's going to actually be a drop. NAF, he says, because many NAF cores have been made, so the Avaleth gets picked apart, and those I0 cores will be taken care of, but how many NAF cores will they kill, I wonder? Well, all the quads have abandoned ship, except for the ones at the front, I suppose, but these circuits are not quite done yet, so the Bactals are going to start rotating around from Noiturne to help out the TheNightFox's front base. So hold on, this is actually going to happen at the same time as we have a move out from the Terran. So that little IZ drop was actually a prank, a bait, a call forward, and now the Lyrilisks that were made are actually going to get pounced upon immediately by this Bioforce. So Noiturne's got to turn around, leaving all the I0 cores to run roughshod over the TheNightFox's base. Maybe he should have had his units in a different position a little bit quicker. He's going after the workers, but they burrow to avoid the pain. The counterattack is real. We've got Kenoli and the TheNightFox dueling right now, with Noiturne having his Bactals stimmed on top of. Where does frontline go? It looks like it might still be down here. No, it's nowhere to be found. His I0 cores must have already fallen. The Bactals with the Shaman out-sustaining. Yeah, it's going to be pretty hard. I guess the Shaman are in the middle of the front now, so they're not really helping. But besides, you know, Shambler's questionable unit control, Kenoli's I0 core walk-in definitely did a lot of damage, and now the TheNightFox, he's in a dire strait, I would say. He's not looking too hot. Shaman might go down here. Yeah, it does. Nats have arrived in Shambler's base to try to cause some more mayhem. But it does look like the TheNightFox is stuck. And he's thinking about what to make with his larva, but he doesn't actually have a... Oh, he has the Vornath, so... Noiturne going for 10 Droleth at this point is an interesting choice. He does need to rebuild an army of some sort. And, yeah... I mean, Fox is making the Droleths down there. He's really only got a couple of claws. More IZs coming in to reinforce. And can only put into a bad position here. Oh, man. The Vornath also going down. He's actually got a burrowed IZ here that I think is unlikely to be found by the attack move, especially with the Terran pressuring at the same time. Our Eastern team looking likely to fall here. I believe Noiturne is actually from Chile, because there was a talk of like a lot of Chileans joining our community for a while. Nath, of course, patrolling to make sure Kenoli doesn't expand for free. It's the least TheNightFox can do right now. Khaz'trith on the way here for the TheNightFox. Try to endure, but 12 Tetzoricors are on the way. Yeah, he's going to need to mount one hell of a defense. Noiturne still has a pretty big bank. Definitely could spend down his money a bit more efficiently. Lacking macro hatches. Ovoleth's just floating around doing nothing. Not saying nothing to nobody. And static defense coming for Noiturne at the third base. He's, I suppose, the richest player in the lobby right now, but Shambler making that a thing of the past as he puts his third base down and gets it saturated. Captaincies have started to deploy. Does he have any of those tier 2 units with his army right now? No, it's just a bunch of Mavs. And he's going to stem pretty far forward. The Ovoleth could actually scoop some of those Mavs in, but I don't think they're not feeling quite so synergistic, not in the same way. Now, the Kazi is not going to finish in time to really help the circuits out here. It's a little bit of an unfortunate timing, and most of these combat units are not in a position to reinforce the base. The Kazi now finishes. The Bactyls can let a bunch of attacks rip here, but they're not. Looks like Noiturne overcome with the moment. That felt like his best chance to actually hold this push off and buy a little bit more time for a reprisal from the TheNightFox, a resurgence from the Maroon Zerg. I don't think we're going to get it, though. The stem's right in the face. He had a couple of quads mixed in here as well that got pretty much immediately punctured, and the Tetzoricors are only going to make matters worse. Getting their radial splash damage in there, their lifesteal will keep them immune to any damage likely to happen, and yeah, he's just getting muscled out. Sliced to pieces. All Fox can offer is a few quads, and he's just going to tap out, seeing what's happening to his Zerg buddy. Well, we'll see if there's a GG. Yeah, there is a GG from Noiturne. Good lad, and Shambler and Kenoli will be winning. Well, I suppose I should have expected that, given that Kenoli is the most recently experienced player, and while Noiturne is like making a brief return, I think, or at least he's only recently returned, I should say. The TheNightFox keeps playing casually every now and then. Shambler hasn't played in a little bit, but you know, him and the TheNightFox had reached similar levels, with Shambler being slightly higher in terms of tournament results for sure. Nonetheless, pretty interesting action-packed 2v2. Like I said, Toony Moony, a map you play specifically because you're going to see a lot of action. We'll see if we can get another 2v2 cast, you fine gentlemen and ladies, very shortly. So stay tuned for more Cosmonarchy. We upload every day. GG.